You've seen the headlines. Bitcoin is on another rocket ride to shocking new highs. But what can a single $100 bill actually do in that world? Is it possible to turn it into a life-changing amount of money, or is that just a myth? Well, we're going to find out. I'm taking this $100 and putting it all into Bitcoin right now. We're going to track it, follow its journey, and see if it can reach the wild price targets that experts are predicting for 2025 and beyond. Now let's get one thing straight. This is a high-stakes experiment, not financial advice. Bitcoin's price is a notorious roller coaster. This $100 could vanish. But hey, it could also be the start of something incredible. Let's start the clock. Alright, before we get started, let's set the rules for this experiment. The plan is dead simple. We're starting with exactly $100. We're investing in one thing and one thing only: Bitcoin, the original crypto and the undisputed king of the market. Why Bitcoin? Because it's the gold standard of crypto, and for a beginner, it's the most established and straightforward entry point into this wild new world. I'm going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly how this works, from picking a platform to making the purchase. For most beginners, the easiest way to buy Bitcoin is through a cryptocurrency exchange. Think of them as online marketplaces for digital money. Setting up an account is pretty simple, usually just requiring some basic identity verification. Once that's done, we execute the trade. $100 straight into Bitcoin at whatever its price is at this very moment. And then, we hold on for dear life. We're not trying to be fancy day traders here. Our strategy is a classic long-term hold, which the crypto community lovingly calls hodling. We're simulating what happens when an ordinary person parks a small sum of money in an asset to see what happens. The goal here isn't to buy a Lambo tomorrow. It's to find out what's actually possible. So, what's the potential upside for our little $100 investment? For that, we have to look at what the so-called experts are predicting for 2025. Their forecasts are all over the place, but the general feeling is bullish. For 2025, many analysts are pointing toward a range of $115,000 to $150,000. Some are even more optimistic. The research firm AllianceBernstein, for example, pointed to the powerful inflows into new Bitcoin ETFs as a reason to predict a price of $200,000 by mid-2025. Legendary venture capitalist Tim Draper has also stood by his forecast, calling for a $250,000 Bitcoin in 2025. These predictions are often tied to the halving cycle, a built-in event that cuts the creation of new Bitcoins in half and has historically kicked off major price surges. Then you get the really eye-popping numbers. ARK Invest's CEO, Cathie Wood, is famously bullish on Bitcoin. Her firm has released models suggesting Bitcoin could hit astronomical figures, with some bull cases reaching toward $1.5 million or even $2.4 million by 2030. This is based on the idea of massive institutional adoption and Bitcoin's growing role as digital gold. One of their models even suggests a $2.4 million price is possible if a significant chunk of institutional portfolios allocates to Bitcoin. Yeah, those numbers sound completely bonkers, and you should take them with a massive grain of salt. They represent the absolute best case, everything goes right scenarios. But that's the whole point of our experiment, to see if our tiny $100 can catch a ride on one of these waves and turn into something meaningful. It's fun to talk about million-dollar price targets, but it's time for a dose of reality. As of today, November 4th, 2025, Bitcoin's price is dancing between $102,000 and $107,000 after a volatile few weeks. So what does our crisp $100 bill actually get us? Let's do the math. At a price of, let's call it $115,000 per Bitcoin, our $100 investment buys us approximately 0.8087 BTC. Let that sink in. 0.00087 Bitcoin. Doesn't exactly make you feel like a Wall Street whale, does it? This is a crucial point that gets lost in all the hype. When you start small, you're buying a tiny fraction of a coin. This is possible because Bitcoin is divisible into 100 million smaller units called Satoshis. So while you don't own a whole coin, you are officially in the game. It's important to have this perspective. Investing $100 isn't about the quantity of Bitcoin you own. It's about getting exposure to its percentage changes. If Bitcoin's price doubles, the value of your tiny fraction also doubles. That's the real power we're testing here. We're not betting on volume, we're betting on growth. Okay, the trigger is pulled. Our $100 is now 0.0087 Bitcoin, sitting in a digital wallet. And now, we watch. What happens next is a near certainty: volatility. The price of Bitcoin can swing wildly in a short period. 5 to 10% moves in a single day are common. Let's imagine in the first week, our investment does just that. On Tuesday, a flood of good market news sends Bitcoin up 10%. Our $100 is now worth $110. It's an amazing feeling. You're checking your wallet every 5 minutes, seeing those green numbers, and thinking, maybe those expert predictions aren't so crazy after all. And then, Friday hits. A scary headline about regulations spooks the market, and the price tumbles 15% from its new high. Your $110 is now worth about $93.50. Welcome to the emotional roller coaster of crypto. Suddenly, you're in the red. This is exactly why financial experts say you should never invest more than you're willing to lose. For us, that's $100. Seeing it drop to $93 is stressful, but it's not the end of the world. It also shines a light on a popular strategy called dollar cost averaging, where you invest a small, fixed amount regularly, like $25 a week, instead of all at once. This helps smooth out your average purchase price. For this experiment, though, we went all in. We just have to ride the waves. By the way, if you want to follow this journey and get more real-world insights into the wild world of crypto, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell. We'll be tracking this $100 and exploring other what-if scenarios in finance. All right, let's hit the fast-forward button. We've hodled through the emotional highs and lows. It's now the end of 2025. How did our $100 do? Let's use some of those more grounded expert predictions to find out. Many analysts pointed to late 2025 for a post-halving cycle peak, with common forecasts suggesting Bitcoin could reach between $150,000 and $200,000. Let's run the numbers for our 0.0087 BTC. Scenario 1. Bitcoin hits $150,000. Our initial $100 investment would now be worth about $130.50. That's a 30.5% return in about a year. In traditional finance, that's a home run. But is it life-changing? No. It's enough for a very nice dinner out. Scenario 2. Bitcoin hits the more optimistic target of $200,000. In this case, our $100 grows to about $174. We've made a 74% return. Again, an incredible performance for any asset, but we're not buying a new car. This is a critical lesson. Even with very bullish price moves, a small initial investment leads to respectable but not earth-shattering growth in the short term. The stories of people becoming millionaires from a few $100 usually involved getting in when Bitcoin was worth pocket change or by taking on insane risks with unknown altcoins. But real Bitcoin believers aren't just here for a year. They're playing the long game, looking at 2030 and beyond. This is where those jaw-dropping predictions from people like Cathie Wood come back into focus. Her firm's models are built on the idea that Bitcoin's adoption has just begun. They argue that as huge institutional investors like pension funds start allocating even a tiny slice of their portfolios to Bitcoin, the price will be forced dramatically higher. So let's play out that wild what if. What if Cathie Wood is right and Bitcoin rockets to $1.5 million by 2030? Let's take our same 0.00087 BTC. If one Bitcoin is worth $1.5 million, our initial $100 investment is now worth $1,305. Okay, now we're talking. That's a nearly 13x return. That is a significant amount of money, enough for an amazing vacation, a nice boost to a down payment, or to reinvest into a much larger portfolio. It's an impactful sum, all from a single $100 bill. And if we dare to dream of the ultra bull case of $2.4 million by 2030, our $100 becomes $2,088. This shows the power of long-term thinking and exponential growth, fueled by Bitcoin's built-in scarcity. Only 21 million will ever exist, and its rising acceptance as a form of digital gold. So, after all that, what's the final verdict? Was putting $100 into Bitcoin worth it? The answer, I believe, is a resounding yes, but not for the reason you might think. It's not about getting rich quick. As we saw, even with fantastic price growth, $100 isn't going to make you a millionaire by next year. The real win here is the education. Think of it as the cheapest, most exciting tuition you'll ever pay to understand a revolutionary new asset class. Investing a small amount forces you to learn. You learn how to use a digital wallet, navigate an exchange, and practice good security. You feel the psychological gut punch of market volatility firsthand, which is a lesson no book can ever teach you. Starting small gives you skin in the game, turning you from a spectator into a participant. You'll find yourself paying more attention to global economics, inflation, and how financial systems work because now it directly affects you. When all's said and done, the journey of this $100 bill was way more valuable than its final destination. It wasn't about the number in the account, it was about the experience gained. In the short term, it grew into a nice, respectable sum. But when we zoomed out to the long term, we saw how that small seed could blossom into something truly significant. Look, $100 in Bitcoin won't get you a Lamborghini by 2025, but what it will buy you is a front row seat to what could be the biggest financial and technological shift of our generation. It's your ticket to the game. And for $100, that might just be the best investment you'll ever make. What do you think? Have you tried dipping your toes in the crypto water? Share your own experiment in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more deep dives into the world of investing. Thanks for watching.